Baby, won't you come my way? Got some things I want to say. First off, I'm gonna start by saying this. Too turnt, I swear that I won't miss. Hey, I'm too turnt, I swear that I won't miss. Baby, won't you come my way? Hey, good morning, Siri. Good morning, Siri to Siri. Siri to Siri. I love that. It reminds me of good morning, Jezza Fruit. It reminds me of, hey, Victoria, good to see you. What's it called? Soul to Soul, Back to Life. So when I see Siri to Siri, I'm thinking, back to life, back to reality, back to the here and now again. Sorry, I don't know. I love that song. I grew up with that song. Juicy Fruit. I got to change that. No, that's fine. That's fine, Juicy Fruit. Nah, you can tell me what it is. It's a conversation starter. It is a hot joint, Kimberly, isn't it? Good morning, Tara Tate the Great. Hey, how's it going, Kim? Yeah, I know. I love that song too. I remember the however do you want me, however do you need me, however do you want me, however do you need me, however do you want me, however do you need me. Sorry. However do you want me? I was in your dreams. Oh, that's awesome. Them Toronto days, I know exactly. You're from Toronto, Taj Cosmetic. I forgot about that. Hey, Poet Lena, good to see you. Juicy Fruit. Nicole Wide. Poet Lena, good to see you. Snow again is going to be crazy. I got to get out of here. I'm at home right now, as you guys can tell. As my bookshelf behind me, one of my bookshelves. But I'm working from home, and then I got to get up and I got to go see Lo after, so we can hunker down. Yeah, I know. You know what? L. Davis, John. Hey, Marcel, good to see you from Germany. You know what? Life, and I'm going to talk about this today. You already have 6 inches? That's crazy. You know, hey, good morning, Paul. You know what? Life throws you curveballs. Life throws you lemonades. Throws you lemons, and you got to turn that into lemonades. And what happens in life is you have the habit, but it's a great book. 10X Rule is great as well. Good to see you, Nicole. What happens is it's not about what happens to you in life. What I've learned in life is what you do about what happens to you. And there's so many people who struggle and get stuck because they're trying to figure out why something is happening. Something just happens, right? It just snows. There's a storm 2 days ago. I'm going to go into this in a second. Some reason I lost you when I got my new phone. Oh, good to see you again. I'm going to go into it, but there's a storm he had, a precursor to Snowmageddon, and somebody died in a DMV area because they got hit by a car, and it literally took people hours to get home. But yeah, I am used to the snow. The difference is this. 2 days ago, there was a tremendous amount. Hey, Carla Bissong. Check out Carla Bissong. She's phenomenal. She's based in Houston. African-American entrepreneur with a financial mind who runs an art gallery. Who would have thunk it? But she's doing good things, doing big things in Houston, Texas. So go check her out. If you are in Houston, go check her out. Hello. Exactly. Nobody expected Wednesday. But when Wednesday happened in D.C., people lost their minds. But they lost their minds for a variety of reasons. Mainly because the roads weren't pre-treated. So we only had an inch of snow. But what ended up happening is within that inch of snow, everything turned to ice. So it's literally like, it's like, I'm trying to think. It's like Notorious B.I.G. on skates. That's what it was like. The whole city was locked like that. It took people hours to get home. It took me about almost 4 hours to get home. I live 7 miles away. I was at the office 7 miles away from my place. It took me almost 4 hours to get home. I'm going to tell you that story in a second. I'm telling you what I learned about it and how I'm going to apply that to business and stuff like that. We're unprepared. But even then, even if you are, you're right, unprepared because the road should have been salted and treated. That's some good coffee. Good coffee. So, for those of you who don't know who I am, please do me a favor. Actually, no. Before I ask you that, who's new in this scope? If you're new in this scope, do me a favor. Hey, what's going on, Greg Walker, the Big Dreamer? Every time I see your name, Greg, I feel like I want to scream. I want to go like I want to just like get like the Maori warriors from New Zealand. I just want to go get all. And screaming. So that's how hype I get when I see your name. So I'm glad you're in the scope, man. You're doing a lot of great things. He's a Periscope Summit speaker, a live stream speaker. So check him out. He's motivation. He's a motivational guy. Yeah, we're gonna connect. I'm definitely want to connect with you. I'll do some things together and collaborate. I will. And Greg Walker is doing a lot of great things. And he's come from nothing to something. That's basically his story, and it's a story that I think a lot of people can resonate with. I've had a very similar story, so that's why I wanna connect with people who are like that. It's great. Hey Jen, thanks Jen Heck for referring L. Davis John. I really appreciate that. So put a 1 in the chat box if you're new. Queen Rose, greetings. The reason why I ask is because I want to know how I can tailor my intro so I can tell you who I am, so you have a general idea who I am. If you are new to the chat box, do me a favor, put a 1 in the chat box. For everybody else, how cool is your mic though? Thank you so much. I have a mic. When I'm not in my car, I usually have a mic. So hey, good to see you, HF 100. I'm glad you're in here. DMT Boston, Rainbows and Sunshines. Another one. Danielle Thompson, based out of Boston, Mass. She doesn't really sound like a Boston, Massachusetts person, but she can a little bit. But she's phenomenal mind, very creative. But more importantly, she's growing her business. She's a person. She's really good at building teams as well. She's also in the relationship marketing space as well. So learn more about her scopes and her journey. She's also a Down syndrome advocate. Where she goes and she advocates for families and people with Down syndrome to make sure that there's equality there. So it's a very admirable cause, so check her out as well. Thanks for being in here. Thanks for people who are new. I really appreciate that. Let me tell you who I am, for those who do not know. For those who know, this is going to be a quick little recap. My name is ebongeka. I'm a certified public accountant in the Washington, D.C. area. I'm also the author of the best-selling business book, Start Me Up, The No Business Plan, Business Plan. I got multiple copies. In addition to that, I'm a speaker, TEDx speaker. I also appear on MSNBC, Fox News, Arise TV, Huffington Post Live. I'm also a Huffington Post blogger. In addition to that, I'm a small business champion. Finally, I am the founder of Economics, where we focus on your mission, your mindset, and your money. And with Economics, we work with individuals and businesses to help them modify their idea, strategize their idea, set their pricing for their products, create products from who they are and their idea, and then maximize that by raising their revenues. So I'm going to give you an opportunity if you want to talk more about things if you want to work together. We're looking to grow right now. So that's one of the things that I'm at a limit, the amount of clients I work with, but I have some space open. So it's going to be great. So with that being said, I want to go into what I want to talk to you guys today about. I told you earlier about 2 days ago in the Washington, D.C. area, and I think part of the East Coast, there was a storm, but it was only about an inch or so. The thing was, everybody was caught off guard, right? Hey, what's going on, Kristen? Wow, it's him. And everybody was caught off guard. And the one thing before I go into this, the difficult thing with landscape is I may not see your comments because I'm trying to look at the camera and position it a certain way. So I apologize in advance. Oh, another thing I didn't ask you guys to do, which I always tell you guys to do, if you like anything that I say, if you like my message, if you like me, if you like some of my previous Periscopes, do me a huge favor. Please do me a huge favor and invite your friends and followers. Swipe up and share the broadcast. Share on Twitter. Share with your followers right now who are on Periscope. Because I'm going to give you guys about I wrote this down 2 minutes before I came on, right? I'm going to show you guys 3 things that I think that are really important for you and your business as it relates to dealing with adversity. And the reason why that is because I had a very similar experience right now 2 days ago with adversity. I was stuck. Literally, it took me 4 hours to drive 6 miles. And the reason why that is the roads weren't, the whole city was basically on lockdown. Everybody was on skates. And it was only about an inch of snow, but it turned into a sheet of ice. And you got to understand, there's simple principles to learn from as you go through this in your life. You're going to have setbacks in your business. You're going to have problems in your relationships in your personal life. You're going to have problems with customers and clients. You're going to have issues with maybe the weather. Maybe your business is weather dependent. Maybe something happens that sets you back, right? And there's 2 ways. All right, big Greg, I'll reach out to you, man. And there are multiple things that people can struggle with if you're not careful. And there's an importance of doing the little things, right? Because if you don't do the little things, there's a great opportunity for you to fail. I should have called you. Yes. I think. Yeah, you should have called me. So, I'm going to share with you a few things I learned from the storm the other day. Somebody died in that storm. Someone got hit by a plow the other day, right? He was just going home from work. He got out of his car, he got into an accident, and a snowplow hit him. And dead on the street, right? Thank you so much. This is from the San Diego Zoo. It says San Diego on the front. You can tell. From the San Diego Zoo. So he just died right now. He was just literally going home on a Wednesday. You see what I'm saying? Yes, I know that's why you didn't want me to walk. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Chastity. And so that's the thing. Like, people can just go at any time. And so when you have adversity, I saw people spin out. I watched so many cars spin out. I took videos. People who follow me on my Facebook page, I posted videos of people spinning out, minivans spinning out, cars in a ditch, SUVs running into other SUVs, people sliding into other cars, people being crashed. I saw flashing lights everywhere. It was crazy. All because of a small sheet of ice on the pavement that people were not prepared for. The thing is, no matter what you do, no matter what business plan you write, no matter what you focus on, you may never be prepared. You may never get what you want because you may never be prepared for it. That's exactly how life is. So let me share with you a few things before we get going. The first is the smallest thing, okay? The smallest thing in life can derail your progress, can distract you, can delay your progress. And so my progress was this. It takes me 15 to 20 minutes to get home. But in this particular case, because of a 1 inch of snow and a small sheet of ice, it took me almost 4 hours. I was stuck on hills. I drive, my car has rear wheel drive, and it's a 3 Series BMW. And I literally, the only thing partly what saved me is the fact that I have rear wheel drive. But I was stuck on a hill for almost an hour. I watched cars go up hills and then roll back down. Go up hills, roll back down, and then crash. Roll back up, crash. I watched every other car crash. I literally saw every other car crash. Though every street. The highways were parking lots because people couldn't move. People couldn't drive. People were crashing into each other. It literally was a parking lot. I had to drive. I saw people drive the opposite way on a one-way street because the bottom of where they were going was stuck with people crashing into each other. You see what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen around you in your life and in your business. How many of you have chaos? How many of you right now are going through a storm right now of your own? How many of you have some setback that you've already just walked into and you're like, how the hell am I going to deal with this? It's over. I might as well pack up my tent. How many of you have situations where you're looking and saying, why is this happening to me? Right? And you don't know why it's happening. And that did happen. I remember that in ATL. Yes, exactly. How many of you are going through and have tough stuff in your business, setbacks in your business, chaos in your business, adversity in your business, right? And you think that things shouldn't be this hard. Maybe you're worried about the money that's coming in. Maybe you're worried about the client that says they're going to do business with you and then they're not. Maybe you're worried about paying your bills. And maybe you can't. Mainly because what you thought was supposed to happen is not happening. See, the reality is it's going to happen regardless. It's going to happen whether or not you're in business. It's going to happen whether or not you're in life. It's going to happen whether or not you died. It's going to happen whether or not you live. It's going to happen. So the goal is very simple. How do I figure out what I need to do in order to weather the storm? People who are on ships, captains, ship captains and sea captains, they're able to anticipate storms and then navigate through them. The thing is, we have the ability to do the exact same thing, but we haven't been trained to do it. So as a result, we don't know how to deal with storms. So here's a simple principle. I'm on a hill. I'm telling you a quick story. I'm on the hill. This is Wednesday. And I'm rolling down. I'm going up. I'm rolling down. I'm going up. I'm rolling down. And I'm watching other people who haven't really driven in ice and snow before fishtail out, spin out. I'm watching people terrified. I'm seeing them gripping the steering wheel, just praying as they try to climb that hill. Right? Hey, good to see you right here. What is the title of my book? It's called The Power of Habit. The Power of Habit. Charles Duhigg. It's a great book. Pick it up. I'll get the audio program. And so the people who are stuck on hills going back and forth. And what I ended up understanding is this. I had the training to get up to drive in the snow. I am a business mentor. And actually, if you want to reach out to me, send me a quick email. info@ebongeka.com. Thank you so much, Carrie Pink. Congratulations, Carrie Pink. Carrie Pink just had a baby. She still looked fabulous. I bet she had makeup on while she was giving birth. She looked phenomenal. Her baby looks phenomenal. He's a star. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sweet and Low. Thank you so much, Kim Spire. Yeah, you know that's true, Carrie Pink. You had makeup on, your hair was done while you were giving birth. Phenomenal, phenomenal. So congratulations, Carrie. I never had a chance to say that. I'm glad you're on my scope. I'm very humbled by that, by your appearance. So to go a little bit deeper, I had some training in driving through snow. I was born and raised in Toronto, Canada. I lived in the Midwest for 5 years. I lived in Buffalo, New York for 2 years. I dealt with 2 feet, 3 feet, 5 feet, even 7 feet of snow and driving in that weather. So as a result of that, I had general tools, I had the basic tools. I learned something. So here's an example. How do I apply this to your life and to your business? If you're stuck in a certain area, if you're stuck in your business, it behooves you, which is another way of saying, it is your responsibility to find the tools that you can use. Oh, thank you so much, Carrie. The top secret tea, thank you so much. Here's how you can reach out to me. Ebongeka, info@ebongeka.com. You have the tools. It behooves you to grab the tools that are out there. It behooves you to grab the, hello from LA. You can screenshot this too. It behooves you to grab the tools that are out there. It behooves you to learn from other people and learn from mistakes that you may be going through, whatever you're going through, to try to get any type of leg up on how to deal with that type of adversity. So I knew how to drive in snow, how to drive, hey, from Chicago, how to drive on ice. But here's another point I want to make. You have the tools. You have the tools to make it happen. You just have to learn how to use them. So in my car, I have anti-lock brakes, and so what happens is it has an anti-spinning for the wheels. So if I'm on slick pavement or slick ice or whatever it is, my wheels won't allow me to grip. They'll continually spin. So what I had to do, I had to turn that off. But it took me about almost an hour figuring out and trying new things. I'd go up a little bit, I'd slide. I'd go up a little bit, I'd slide. Turn the wheel, slide back. I was falling backwards. I almost hit a car on the way up, sliding backwards, and I couldn't stop it. I learned multiple tricks onto how to get up that small little hill. The hill is insurmountable. The angle of the hill wasn't even that steep. But it didn't really matter. Hey, Allison McCain, good to see Allison M. McCain, good to see you in here. So the second thing is you have the tools to make it happen. In my particular case, I needed patience. I needed to take my time to figure out what I had and how I can MacGyver my ability to get up that hill. Hey, Maggie, I love Maggie Linton. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sharon. Sharon, P3 Solution, small business marketer. She's the author of Market Simple. Yep, I have it right here. She's the author of Market Simple. Check it out. Go follow her on Periscope. She talks about marketing techniques for small businesses. You see, the thing is, I kind of help people do some of the same thing, but it's all about abundance. We're sharing. It's about life and love, and I like to share with other people. So with that being said, you have the tools. You have everything you need. You have everything you need in your life currently. You have to find out how you can apply that, how you can take that and take it to another level. You see what I'm saying? And so for me, I had to learn that if I pressed a button in my car, right, I can get the traction I needed to get up that hill. And that turned a 4-hour experience, a 6 or 7 hour experience to a 4-hour experience. Why? Because I almost parked my car and got out and walked. And Lo, who's on this scope right now, will tell you that she tried to convince me not to. And so sometimes in life, you have to have people who hold you up. Sometimes in life, you have to have people who will support you, even though your judgment is telling you to go one direction. Sometimes if you trust who this person is in your life. Yes, I was about 3 miles away, 3 miles away from where my car was, and I thought about walking. And Lo was like, nah. I don't want you to get hurt, this and that, this and that. I thought she was just being overly sensitive. But come to think about it, I wasn't that far away, 3 miles, but I wasn't that far away. But the thing is, I thought that I basically could do it. But her telling me not to, right, it reminded me that I have to have a level of patience. So you may be going through this or something right now, not only in your business, but personally, maybe from a relationship, and something's going on in your life, and you're sitting there thinking, man, I don't know what's going on. What am I supposed to do? Sometimes you just need to be patient because the universe is working. The universe is working already, right? And all it requires for you to do is just chill. And it doesn't require for you to freak out. And I'm the kind of person that wants something every single time as quickly as possible. But sometimes I just need to be patient because I'm not there yet. The journey's not where it needs to be right now. You You see what I'm saying? That makes sense? So finding my chill. Yeah, Queen Rose, is hard. You know it's hard? Because when you're driven and you want what you want, the last thing you want to do is have somebody tell you to hang on and chill. But again, you have to be patient to find the best opportunity. Exactly. So I had to find the best opportunity. So part of me chilling was a multitude of things. Because I was patient. By that time, the roads had cleared a little bit more. By that time, the temperature had literally strangely enough, had risen. So it was a little bit warmer. The ice had melted a little bit. All the conditions were right for me to turn off that button, to turn off my car and everything else, turn off the spinning wheels, and actually accelerate up the hill. So again, exactly, the key is this, not necessarily to stop, but to be patient. So when you're going through something, you're trying to get that deal, you're trying to get that, whatever it is, your book project, whatever it is, your business, being patient doesn't mean you stop. Being patient means that you're cognizant of how time is passing. Because if it means you don't go 100 miles an hour, maybe you go 10. And then tomorrow you go 100. And after that you go 1,000. But whatever it is, you're basically chilling. Hey, Douglas, good to see you, Douglas. I'm sorry to get a chance to see you in GR, but we were there for a short time, and then we had to pop out to near Mount Pleasant in Midland. Actually, Alma. We were in Alma. So I didn't have a chance to see you in GR. I was there for a short time. So let me wrap this up. You have the tools to make it happen. That's the thing. And you have to be patient. And you have to use some ingenuity. But also, people you have in your life who can support you emotionally and mentally. That's what's important. The last thing is, bad things will happen. But they happen. They don't happen to you. They happen for you. And I know it sounds crazy. There are people who, like the guy who died 2 days ago. Like he died. The question someone would ask me is, did that happen for him? But you have to have a thought anyways. So why have one that's negative? And so I always believe that when things happen, they happen for you for a multitude of ways. Maybe it reminds you that you shouldn't have done something. Maybe it teaches you a lesson. Maybe it teaches you something that's good about who you are. Hey, Kara Allen, check her out. Kara Allen is a stylist, fashion consultant, Periscope Summit speaker, just doing amazing things. Camille, the wellologist, too. She's doing phenomenal things. She's in mental health and wellness space. I think she's based in the Washington, D.C. area, probably Baltimore. So check her out as well. I met her through Sharon's Market Simple Summit last year. Amazing people. Kara Pink, phenomenal, too. Exactly. They don't happen to you. They happen for you. Things just happen. Because, again, this is the thing. I have an amazing book that I love. It's called, thank you, Kara, Fort Washington. I didn't know that. It's called The Man's Search for Meanings, written by Viktor Frankl. And there's another book I have called On the Shortness of Life by Seneca. And the thing about these books is it kind of reminds you, hey, Ricky from San Antonio, good to see you, man. Thank you so much, Energy Guy 210. Thanks for being here. The thing about when I say things happen for you, not to you, it's a very simple principle. Because what's happening is going to happen. People, everything you think of in your life that can happen to you, or that's happening, it's happened to somebody else. Someone has died doing it. Someone has died sleeping, eating, whatever, walking, talking, whatever. Everything you've ever done in your life, someone has passed away from doing it. Someone has suffered greatly from that. And people have also benefited from doing those things. So they just happen. What's the name of this book, Man's Search for Meaning? It's called Man's Search for Meaning. The principle is simple. So what happened with Viktor Frankl is, Viktor Frankl was a psychologist who was a Jewish psychologist back during the Holocaust days, during the World War II, and he was picked up and taken to a concentration camp. I think Auschwitz. And I believe he was in Auschwitz. And yes. And so he talks about he's from Vienna, Austria, taken to Auschwitz with like millions of others. And he chronicles his life, and he had a why. And so going really deep, and this is kind of what my intention wasn't going to be, but why not? He had a why. Every single day he had a why. And his why was to get out. The guy who lost it all. Exactly. And he had a why. The why was to get out of this prison camp, to one, write this book eventually, and two, to see his wife again. And he went through a tremendous amount of torture and pain and sadness and suffering, people dying around him. His environment was not what he pictured and envisioned. But I had a conversation with somebody at work yesterday about this, and a tremendous amount of emotional discipline, emotional fortitude that one must have to be able to sustain and get through years of a life in a concentration camp, in a prison camp. And I'm not even talking about people who are just in regular prison, like say in the U.S. or any other country. I'm talking about on a level of depravity, and it's even worse. And so the thing that I learned from this book is the importance of having something that's greater than you, that's bigger than you. So if I have something that's greater than me, that's bigger than me, I'm not worried about something that happens that may or may not be insignificant in the grand scheme of my journey. My journey is to leave a legacy. My personal journey to leave a legacy on this earth is to enrich as many people as I can, to touch as many people as I can. What up, JC Limitless? Check out JC Limitless. This guy's going. This is 10x, but he's going 100x. He's business guy, motivational guy, doing a lot of great things. You gotta check him out. He's phenomenal guy. So the thing is, my goal is to leave a legacy behind, because again, at the end of the day, thank you so much, Keys of Life. I appreciate that. It's really nice of you to say. Let me just. I love the title right there, Keys of Life. I'm gonna check that out, man. I like the title of your name. And so the goal is this: for me to leave a legacy. One way to do that is to build up my net worth, is to be able to share, to enrich give my fuel units, my vision, money, whatever it is, inspiration to other people every single day. I'm going to tell you a quick story. The guy that I'm going to talk about is not on this scope, but he is a lot. And amazing guy based out on the East Coast. And so this was basically his story. He had an idea. He had a dream to become a pilot. He always wanted to become a pilot. I'm sorry, Juicy Fruit. He wanted to become a pilot. And he didn't think it was possible. He thought the mountaintop was insurmountable. And I told him this. I go, one of the best things to do if you have a goal, a dream, or a vision is you need to break it down. You need to go backwards, because your brain will look at something and think it's too big. And it will tell you to try and minimize time and effort and tell you why even bother doing it, because it's going to take too long for you to get there. That's what your brain does. That's a natural thing. That's why you look at something that's too big, you say, that's too big, I'm not bothering with it. That's why you look at the Great Wall of China and say, how the hell did somebody build the Great Wall of China? How the hell did somebody build a pyramid? Because it's too big, right? But you got to understand, every single brick in that big Great Wall of China, every single stone in the pyramid, every single piece of iron in the Statue of Liberty, every single rod of steel and iron in the Eiffel Tower was small, was incremental. Everything is an incremental step. I don't become 40 by waking up and turning 40. I lived 40 years to get to 40. You see what I'm saying? Every single year you've lived is a year that's towards your journey, part of your purpose, part of what you're doing. So you can't look at the end game in mind and say to yourself, this is a big thing. Big picture is great, and that's what I do, but you got to break it down and go down in reverse. So that's what I did. I did that simply with him. Very simple exercise. Did it all over Twitter chat, Twitter DM. And I said, hey, look, take this down and break it down. What do you think you need to do? Long story short, this happened about a month ago. Long story short, he recently flew in a plane with somebody. He thought he wouldn't be able to afford to go to flight school. He recently flew in a plane, took controls of the plane, took his first flying lesson. And then that person that helped fly, that he flew with, literally took his information and is going to share it with somebody at a company that he wants to work for, who actually is a pilot at that company. And he didn't think it was possible. But again, if he had not opened the doors of his mind, there was no way he would have taken the first step to go and jump on that plane. The guy's an 18-year-old guy, man, 18-year-old man, right? And he thought already it was not possible for him to become a pilot. And he's already on that path. He's so pumped up, so invigorated. So my point to you is this. It is very, very important that you see the future and see where it is. Human beings are one of the rare creatures that have the ability to project out in the future. Because with that comes hope. But how many people do you know live in a life of hopelessness? Right? Oh, thank you so much, Siri to Siri. How many people do you know live in a life of hopelessness? They've created a level of learned helplessness. Now, to go back to this book, whether it's this in a concentration camp, whether it's somebody who's in prison, there's part of the reason why you see such high levels of recidivism, for prisoners always going back to prison, is mainly because they've established a life there. There's a social status there. There's comfort there. And so it's hard for them to make the change to get out. 88% of the people who leave prison end up going back. It's not because they want to commit crimes, it's because that's what they know. That's where they're living is what they know. The longer they spend it in jail, the higher the chance is. Right? Oh, thank you so much, Carrie. Thank you so much, Lo. And Siri to Siri and everyone else. So that's the thing. So you have to have a level of hope. Our brain will give up. Our brain, your brain, every single day you are fighting your brain. Your brain is telling you just chill. Netflix and chill, right? Don't do the extra thing. Don't do the extra mile. Don't push yourself. Just chill. There's no incentive to get something greater than you. I wrote a post yesterday. I know I did. It was 2 days ago. I put a video on my Facebook about the importance of making a decision and desire for what you want. Right? And somebody wrote back to me and said, why do people always talk about money and financial freedom, financial wealth? And I said, look, there are multiple ways I could have attached that. But what I ended up doing was saying this. You're right. But financial freedom, you can't pay bills with just enough and just getting by. How many of you are just getting by? How many of you are in a situation where you could use more money? Not so you can go out and buy more consumer goods, so you can help your church, help your people. Hey, if you guys are still in the chat room, give me some hearts. I like seeing the snowflakes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So there's so many people, there's so many things you can do to help your community, your legacy, your environment. But in order to do that, you need to have the resources, right? Financial freedom is another level of resources. It's not so you can get money and count it. It doesn't mean anything anyways, right? Oh, thank you so much, Siri to Siri. So the point I was making with this guy is this. He's given up. And there's so many people who are in your life who you will see who have given up. And so the thing that I've learned from the storm more than anything else is that I saw myself going home that night. And all I kept saying is, Lord, keep me patient and still so I can make the right decision for now. But again, I saw myself going home. 2-mile journey turned into 6-mile journey turned into a 4-hour expedition. I literally could have driven to New York City by now. For the amount of time it took me to go 6 miles, I could have gone to New York City. But again, I had to remain patient and vigilant. The average person would have gone out and walked. The average person would have parked their car and sat there. They would have gone in another direction. I stayed the course, but I had to wait a little bit longer for me to get to where I wanted to go. So if you're on your journey, if you have a dream, love that energy, guy. I love that one. If you have a dream, if you have a vision, if you have a business you want to start, if you have an idea, an opportunity, something that's in front of you that you can almost taste, it's great to have that vision in the forefront. But you got to understand, there has to be a level of patience that's required to go along with it. That's it. Discipline and patience. And credit, yes, and credit to a strong mind. Exactly. You got to have that. I agree with you, DMT. So recap real quickly. Momentum is really important. So when I'm trying to climb that hill, the most important thing was that I had the momentum. But you got to understand, something as small as an inch of snow can derail your momentum. So imagine someone who's in your ear, someone you know in your ear telling you your idea is garbage, right? A TV show, TV program you're watching. Maybe you're watching the news. Maybe the media is telling you that the economy is going to crap. People talk about about the stock market every single day. That has nothing to do with you and your ability to give value to your marketplace. If that's the case, you can understand your momentum can slowly get derailed. A friend saying, let's go out and party. A friend telling you, don't work today. Just give it up. Let's hang out and do this instead. Your friend telling you, let's do something that you know is not in your best interest for your long-term gain. Momentum is key because momentum ends up helping you form habits that win, right? Momentum goes negative and positive. The person who ends up in jail for murder, there's a momentum behind it. Very rarely does somebody just go out and kill somebody. A lot of times there are other things that led up to it. There's a journey that leads up to something every single time, majority of the time in life. So with you, momentum is important. For me getting up that hill, it was important for me. So momentum was important. The smallest things can derail your progress. So you've got to be very vigilant and aware of that. You have all the tools you need to make your life happen. Everything that's going on with you, you have the tools to overcome it. You have to take the time to figure out what those tools are and how to utilize them accurately. Also, bad things happen. They happen to everybody. They don't happen just to you. They happen for you. So hopefully you learn from that. I've had so many negative setbacks. My whole life I can write a book. I can write multiple volumes of bad things that have happened to me. But yet you see me like this positive. Why? Because what's the alternative? I've seen other people go in the other direction. I've seen other people go in the other direction when something bad happens to them. How many people do you know lost their minds when somebody breaks up with them? How many people know lost their minds when they lost their job? How many people do you know lose their minds when their business doesn't work the way they think it is, or when they don't get what they want? How many people do you know lose their minds when they get pulled over by a police officer? When you know in real life nothing good will come of that opportunity, that experience. You'll feel good in the moment, but you won't feel good in the long term. Exactly. Thank you, Carrie. Breaking Bad. You see what I'm saying? So how many people, how many of you, right? That you can act a fool in the present time, but how is that going to affect your future? And that's why I have a level. I spend my time a level of principles. So I have principles that keep me where I'm supposed to be, right? Because at the end of my principles, there's a promise. That's something I really love saying all the time. At the end of my principles, there's a promise. So because I have a certain principle, there's a promise that something will happen or will not happen. There are people who are judged, who are driven by their emotion. Emotional thing to do is I got to get home and speed out. Emotional thing to do is I got to get out and walk. An emotional thing to do is I'm tired of sitting in here. Patience sucks. My principles told me I didn't get to where I was by making excuses. I didn't get to where I am by taking shortcuts. I didn't get to where I am by being impatient. It took me 3 years to get a book deal. It took me 4 months of not searching a job to go play professional basketball because I had to commit. It took me 4 months of cleaning office buildings, mopping floors, cleaning toilets, so I can get the time at night to make phone calls and cold call teams in Europe. Exactly. Don't be emotions are great, and I'm not trying to take away from that. I'm not telling you to be stoic and to be emotions are great, but again, you have to literally hone it. It's like herding cats. If you rely only on your emotions, it will use you and disturb you. Right? That makes sense. So, at the end of the day, momentum's important. How you generate momentum is what's going to matter for you, because when you run out of gas, momentum's going to carry you just like going down a hill. So yeah, I thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for being on here. If you want to learn more about me, you want to see, send me a quick email to info@ebongeka.com. info@ebongeka.com. Also, if you want to get a signed copy, herding cats, that's exactly what it is. It's like herding cats. I'm telling you, for real, it's like herding cats. Also, too, my book. If you want a signed copy of my book, you can go to startmeupbook.com, startmeupbook.com. Go check that out. I will sign and autograph it and send it to you. You can get it on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles or wherever you want. Again, I got a book there. It's in the bookstores, but it took me 3 years to get here. I wrote this book, over 220 pages. I wrote this book in 3 months. Oh, thanks so much, Siri. I wrote this book in 3 months. Now, why did I write this book in 3 months? Because I spent 3 years. And so I built up the skills I needed, right? Just like me driving in the snow. I've been driving in snow for decades, right? And because I've been driving in snow for decades, when I had an inch of snow and ice, I was able to navigate them when everybody around me was losing their minds. And so that's the thing you got to think about. When everybody's losing their minds, how do you keep yours? When everybody's running around in circles screaming about the sky's falling, how do you keep yours? How do you maintain who you are? How do you stay true to who you are? How do you stay grounded in what you're trying to do? So I want to challenge you today to do that. If you're on the East Coast, you're worried about the snow that's coming around, think about what you're going to do today. Think about how you're going to devote your life to your mission, to your goal, and to build yourself and leave a legacy and environment. So many people here are living lives of passive, quiet desperation and mediocrity. And we don't have to live like that. I refuse to live like that. I'll go broke and poor first before I allow myself to go back to that. And you guys, thank you so much for the kind words. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for getting people into the scope. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much. What state am I in? I'm in the Washington, D.C. area. I'm in Virginia. Dakota. I'm in Virginia. Thank you so much, Carrie Pink. Good to see you coming out of hiatus. The world missed you. And your fashion, financial fabulousness. I think that's what it is. Marcel Andreas, amazing guy. I love his Instagram. Check him out on Instagram. He always has pictures of like the food. He eats really clean. I need to follow him. Every time Marcel, I never told you this, but every time I see your Instagram, I get inspired to start eating cleaner. I really do. I get inspired. I think about, I'm like, man, I need to start eating like this, And I see the Instagram pictures, and you're losing weight, and you're toned up, and you're ripped, all that stuff. I'm like, you know what? I need to get my life like Marcel. So thank you so much for that. How are your scopes so clear? I don't know, Chastity. I'm using my Samsung Galaxy Note 4, and then I have good lights, and I have a mic. Oh, hey, Keys of Life. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate that. Thanks for being here. I follow you. Do me a favor and follow me. Guys, if you want to follow me for more things, I talk about motivation in business, and I always equate the two. I try to take life lessons, and I try to create usable, digestible nuggets Oh no, you're welcome, Marcel. I'm literally serious. I literally I see it. I'm like, damn. I see like the bread and the thing and all of the eggs. I'm like, oh, I need to eat like that. And so it kind of reminds me to start eating cleaner. What else am I going to say? Thank you so much for being here. You guys are phenomenal. I got some new things in the works. I have a couple of webinars that I'm going to be doing next week to launch up, and then I'm also going to be opening up a new accelerator I have for small businesses. So it's a monthly membership accelerator. I'll talk more about that later when it's ready. It's almost ready. And basically what it is it's a small fee. There'll be like an introductory rate for people to get in. I'll check you out, Energy Guy 210. It's a small thing, and you can get in every month. You get a free video. You get not free video. It's part of the payment, but you get a video, and then in addition to that, there's Q&A. So whatever you're going through in your business, I literally dissect parts of starting your business and growing your business, and it's a smaller accelerator program. You get in there if you're stuck in a certain area. You can ask questions, Q&A. I answer them. I also have I'm going to have entrepreneur interviews as well. So every month I'll interview an entrepreneur. Every month you'll have about an hour to 2 hours of video. Every month you'll have an hour of Q&A where I'll respond in video. People have questions by a certain time. I'll answer all the questions and give you examples and teach and train. And actually, for the price, it's actually really cool. And then if people want to work with me one-on-one, that's a little bit more. It's a little bit more of an investment. That's a little bit later, but that's different. But I have some things in the works. I'll share that in some subsequent scopes, and I'm going to start scoping a little every day, and I won't skip a day. So, guys, be safe. Thank you so much, DMT. And DMT is phenomenal. Check her out as well. She's getting back on doing a lot more scopes, and a lot of things for people. And I'm on Blab too. I'm also on Blab as well. It's the same username. You know what, Carrie? I got to. A lot of people I spend most of my life working for somebody, and I put the same amount of effort working for him than I can do for myself. The only difference is we think we need security. And I've been to a situation where I was stumbling with my job for a while. And sorry, question: What do you do when you feel overwhelmed in business and you feel like there's fog in your head? Siri to Siri, great question. You know what? Before I go, I'll take some Q&A. Yes, you got 5 kids and rent to do. Exactly. It's hard. You want security. Siri to Siri, let me answer that question. So I'll also do some Q&A. If you have any questions about business and life, shoot them out. I'm here. I'll do live Q&A. Why not? That's a great question. It happens to everybody. When I'm overwhelmed personally, is because I don't have something happened unexpectedly. That's one. And two, I don't feel that I have the tools, right? You're gonna ask that one again, Neuralane, because I'm gonna answer this one. I may miss that. Choose the right team. I'll answer that too. So what ends up happening is this: you feel overwhelmed because something's coming to you that you don't think you'll be able to handle, and the problem is if you try to take too many things at once, what ends up happening is nothing gets done right. And so I try to. I turn away clients sometimes. Even right now, I've been turning away clients because I don't have the bandwidth to help them. And so I'm working on freeing up a lot of my time so that I can actually schedule things and create a leverage model in which I can work with people as a group. And so that's one of the things. Depending on what you do, Siri to Siri, I don't know what you do, but depending on from a sense of overwhelm, being in a fog, maybe you need to rejuvenate yourself. That could be something as taking time to meditate. And I know some people aren't really into that, but meditation doesn't have to be kumbaya kind of thing. It just be being alone in your thoughts, being able to control your thoughts, maybe sketching out the things that you find that are overwhelming, right? Have been doing that, turning away problem. Exactly. Well, that's one way to start. And so in your particular, so Siri to Siri, in your particular case, it also requires you to take a look at the things that I started meditating. Yes. And so maybe in your particular experience, there's something that you're looking at. Make a list of the things that are causing you to be overwhelmed, and then see how you can get rid of them, how you can delegate them. So maybe it's you're dealing with a client that requires too much of your time. Maybe you have to raise your price for that particular client because it's taking too much of your time, taking away from other areas. You feel overwhelmed. Maybe you feel you don't have the skill for a particular part of your project or part of a client, and because of that, you're like kind of worried. Either one of two things: either you go get the skills, or you bring in somebody else that can help, like you can work with to learn from, while you get your skills to a certain level where you feel confident to go after things. So you know what I'm saying. So when you're confident about something that you're doing, very rarely will you feel overwhelmed. When you're confident about what you're doing, right? In particular, something you really, really like and care about, and you know for years, you'll never feel overwhelmed by something that you're confident you know what you're doing. So a lot of times in my life, when I felt overwhelmed, is because I wasn't 100% sure about something I was doing, or I didn't think I'd be able to finish something. And so when that happens, I need to look at, it's not so much the thing, is I had to look at, is it my time? Is it the skills that I need to improve? Is it a client expectation I need to manage? That's one of the ways I would look at it. Exactly, Ram31, like a job you don't like. When you're in a job you don't like, overwhelm comes. There are times when I was writing my book, I wrote 4 to 5 to 6 hours a day, and I loved it because I was writing something that I cared about, instead of if I was writing something else. So that's one of the ways. Somebody asked earlier, I think I forgot her name, but how do you choose the right team? You have to find somebody who shares the same amount of desire to work with you as well. That's a good question, Mira Burtz, Dakota. Let me answer that too. How do you choose the right team? First, let me go back to the first one. You got to find somebody who has a very similar mission to you. So here's this. You look at the military. Military has a big directive, one major directive, and within that there are little directives. But each of the little directives lead to the big directive, right? You can't have something that's contrary, because what ends up happening is you've been training as a soldier, as an army person, or whatever it is in the military to be able to achieve something that leads the big directive in hand. So when you're looking to build a team, whoever you hire, whoever you work with, there has to be an alignment of what you're doing. Exactly. They have to have the same. Exactly. They have to have the same desire to work with you. And so they have to feel that what they're doing is leading to the bigger picture, the bigger mission, right? Whether it's someone you hire, someone a BA, whether it's someone you partner with, there has to be uniformity in the goal. You can't have somebody going left and you're going right. It's not going to work. And so when you're choosing a team, find out what their intrinsic motivation is, right? That's the inside motivation. Extrinsic motivation is cash, right? It's obvious. It's money. People think it's money. It's great. Money's for money. Yeah, that's extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation can be something like they want more time with their family. They want more time with their spouse. They want to be able to take vacation. They want extra money so they can give to their church. There's something else that's on the inside that hasn't really come out yet, right? They want to have freedom to do something else. They want to have freedom to paint. That's something they really care about. So if you find people and you can figure out what that intrinsic motivation is, you can align that with what your greater mission is as well. That makes sense in the short version. Somebody asked a question, how do you start? That was Dakota. I would say get your first customer. I always teach people to get their first customer. That's my first thing to do. Everything else, so in a nutshell, the reason I wrote this book, The No Business Plan, is because people were wasting their time writing a business plan. And when you spend your time writing a business plan, nothing good ever happens. That's not true. I would say never. When you spend your time writing a business plan, a lot of the things that you want to do don't happen. And the reason why that is because you spend your time on things that aren't income producing. So when you start out, I want to encourage people to focus on income producing activities. And the first thing is getting your first client. And then you can show you can help them. And if that means because again, you probably have a money block where you're probably thinking, I can't charge this amount of money because I don't think I'm good enough yet. But you charge what you charge. Charge as high as you possibly think that you feel comfortable charging. Get the testimonial from that person, learn from that person, right? Learn how to create a process that you can use to replicate with other clients, and then that person's your testimonial. And then you raise your price, right? Because again, I can teach somebody, yes, revenue generating activity. I love that, RGA. And I can work with somebody to help them raise their price and tell them what price they should be charging, right? Because I'm also the prince of pricing. But if they don't believe it, it doesn't matter. They'll never sell anything if they don't believe what they're charging is worth what they're charging. Someone could be charging $500 for whatever, and I convince them that it should be a $5,000 product. It doesn't matter because they don't believe it's $5,000. They haven't climbed the success ladder, or they haven't climbed the value ladder like I have. They haven't climbed the ladder of understanding what they do and why it's worth 10 times what they were charging, right? As a result of that, when they try to go sell a $5,000 package, they still have the $500 mentality. So therefore, it's not congruent, right? It's very similar to when you're trying to meet somebody you have a romantic interest in, opposite, same sex, whatever it is. When you're trying to meet somebody, right? If you're not congruent in who you are, it starts to come out, and the person will automatically notice at some point in time that you're not who you say you are. It's the same thing in business. When someone's saying, "Oh, my product, buy my product, it's great, buy it." Yeah, $5,000, $5,000, or even the way you ask it. That's your price, $5,000, right? When you're more comfortable saying 500, yes, right? And so that happens with a lot of people. It doesn't happen. That doesn't have to happen. So the goal is get your first customer, and then slowly start raising your prices as you use them as testimonials as you keep going, and you get to your level of comfort. So, does anybody else have any other questions while I'm here? As we get ready for Snowmageddon in Washington, D.C. Anybody have any other questions? If not, I'm going to go. And I'm going to do a Q&A at some point. Maybe this weekend I'll do a Q&A. Hey, Jay Frederick, good to see you. Yeah, I haven't seen you live in ages either. I haven't seen you in ages. Happy 2016. I keep missing your scopes. Hope you're doing well, Jay Frederick. Phenomenal scoper. Check her out. She's basically rediscovering her true nature, daily journey to shape and share her power story, her life, her brand. She's in the UK, which means she has a UK accent, so go check her out. Do you think it's best to start with an ebook or a program? Either or, Dakota. That's a very good question. So it depends. At the end of the day, everything that you share with your audience, it has to be. Yeah, I'll do more Q&A this weekend. Everything you share with your audience has to be valued. So you have to. So think of it this way: it's not an either or situation. I have free ebooks that I offer. I have free video courses that I've offered. But the whole goal is to lead them up to having them as a client or a customer, and leading up to a sale. And so what you're doing is you have to create a value ladder. So the free ebook is to show that I actually know what I'm talking about. Hey, take a look at this. So you want to think of it in a way of a value ladder. So Dakota, to answer your question, the first can be a freebie, like a free one-page guide, one-page ebook. I offer a one-page starter plan. So basically, what you do is it's a one-page starter plan, and what you it's what's most valuable to them now to lead to exactly. So what ends up happening is this. Here's this free ebook, and if someone's like, "Oh, this is awesome," here's a free guide. So the free guide I offer is a one-page starter plan. Here's a free one-page starter plan. If you want to start your business, fill out these things in one page. Done, right? And then after that, you can learn. After that, I'll show you something else. Maybe you can buy my book, which actually goes a little bit deeper than the one-page plan. And if the book is fine and you get some things out of it, maybe you can be part of my accelerator called Launch Arrow Accelerator. That's a monthly membership thing. Okay, that's another increase in the price. After that, you go to a one-time consultation session with me for a small price, smaller than I normally charge. That's to show you there's more value there. And then you could full-fledged work with me for 10 times the amount. So I'm trying to open something right now. Hold on. So it all depends on what you're offering and what value they're going to get out of it. It's not about what you give them specifically. Do you have copyright on each ebook you have out there? Yes. So the ebook I have out there, I've created myself, and it's not like I created myself, and it's not this. I didn't go through this rigmarole. It doesn't really matter. Again, if people can copy whatever. I don't want them to copy. If I find somebody copying, obviously I'll address it. But people can spend their time trying to copy all your stuff, right? But you can't have both ways. Like, your goal is to be more focused on the value you're giving. If you're focused on giving people value, the money will come to you. I guarantee you that. And that's true too. Anything you write is automatically copyrighted. That's right. I completely agree with that. Oh, there it is. The one page plan. So yes. So that's basically it. I'm going to write down an example of my my one-page plan. You can see what it looks like. It's a Bitly link, and I'll share this with you guys. And it's case sensitive. Sorry. So yeah, just to trade my taglines before launching. Yeah, but not really. I think part of it, there's a few things you can do. You can take a look at people who do trademark. But I think it's also the first to use as well. It's a great question. You're right. It's a great question, Danielle. And the thing is, there's just two things. The first thing, from what I understand, is it's the first to use. So you want to make sure you use it, right? Don't wait for copyright. Just use it automatically. And if you can establish when you first used it, that shows it's kind of first to market, and then you can go about the copywriting or the trademarking activity. That costs a little bit of money. If it's worth it to you, it's worth it to you. My thing is this. Like, my name is economics. No, my thing is under economics. No one's going to borrow economics. My name is in it. I've been using it publicly for over 2 years. If you want to steal that, go ahead and steal it. All you're doing is, I've established the brand already. So all you're doing is just furthering my brand by taking economics. Trying to think what else. Anything else that I come up with. I try to, hey, how's it going, Vlad? Publicly. I think before you do that, do me a huge favor and just do a quick Google search. I'm pretty sure that's what the rule is. But do a quick Google search and maybe reach out to a trademark person. So here, take a look at this. This is where my one-page plan is. It's a bit.ly link. Everything is case sensitive. Okay, so you got to make sure that everything is capitalized. Did you trademark economics? I did not trademark economics, attorney Sheena. Are you going to steal economics? I'm kidding. But not trademark it. I will at some point. But I've been using it. I have the website. I have the logo. I've been using all that for a while. That's it right there. Screenshot if you can. Bit.ly, the one-page plan. So take a look at the one-page plan. That's an example of what I have as my freebie. Any advice on hosting conferences and summits to grow your brand? Victoria Coit, yeah. You want to build an audience before you go out and you want to go and do like a conference or summit. You want to start building your brand along the way, because if not, what's going to end up happening is this. Yes, Bit.ly, the one-page plan. Thank you, Dakota. Perfect. So what's going to happen is this. The more time you spend building your audience, the easier it is for you to convert them to come into your conference, whether it's a summit, online summit, a live summit, or a conference. And so over time, you want to build your audience. So for example, for me, I've been doing Periscope for several months now. I've built an audience from Periscope. I've built fan base from Periscope. As a result of Periscope and other things, I've built an email list. I've almost 1,000 people on my email list that I've built by using Periscope. And so, hey, Wendy, I haven't seen you in a long time. Wendy Satori, good to see you. So you want to build your audience along the way as you get ready to prepare for your conference, talking about it on a regular basis. And so why that is because it's the same amount of effort to convert them later as it is. It's hard to convert people who don't know you to those who know you for a few months, right? How do you build an audience if you don't want to live stream? Dakota, why don't you want to live stream? Okay, let me put it this way. Live stream's not for everybody. But I've sold a lot of. Thank you so much, Human Race. I got this from an organization, so it's really cool, called Human Race. I'm part of it. So they sent it to me in the mail like a few years ago. Okay, there's two things I'll yes, exactly. Customer development as well. Exactly, customer development as well as product development. That's all. That's true. Thanks so much, Vlad. And yes, Wendy, I agree with you. So this is it. With live stream is simple. You can do Blab as interview style, right, or even have your own to share your own ideas. You could also do Periscope and Meerkat. But this is the thing. Periscope's easy for me because I do TV, I do video, I also do radio, and I like live streaming. Anybody can do it. Anybody can go on there. I remember Lo was against it before. She's Periscope a bunch. She enjoys it, and even Danielle, DMT Boston, she jumped on Periscope. She enjoys it. She's killing it. This is the thing about live streaming. It's a great opportunity for you to share who you are. It's your opportunity to share who you are, what you're about, and what you stand for in front of people who will watch. Scoping live stream makes it personal. Exactly. It makes it really personal. You can create your audience with email. You can create your audience with Facebook page, Facebook posts, and Twitter posts. I'm not saying it'll take longer. You can do a multitude of things at once. Almost threw up when I hit broadcast. Thank you so much, Wendy. Yeah, exactly, Wendy. Exactly. And that's a good point, Vlad. You share your story. When you share your story with people start to say, you know what, that happened to me too. I like that idea. That's a great thing. And then they slowly start following what you're doing and following what you're saying. That's how you know you're growing your audience that way. But you could definitely do it, Dakota. Also, video is another great thing to do as well with YouTube. Exactly. Most people will come on. They'll be encouraging. They'll be nurturing. They'll want to help you. They'll work with you, and it won't be. It's not an antagonist. You see the stuff that we do. If you look at other people that you're following, look at how they're doing their periscopes. It's the same thing. It's not an easier way, but obviously it's easier for me because I like doing video. But it makes it. Yes, it increases the know, like, and trust factor too. And keep your first broadcast short. Exactly, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That's what I did, and then now I've been doing it for a while now. Only because it only takes one person at the prom to get the dance started. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love that, Vlad. And you're right. You join a community, right? So here's a great way how I got started. I jumped on Periscope the minute it came out on Android, and then I started going to other people's Periscopes and following them, and then commenting and interacting with them, right? And adding value to their scopes. So what ended up happening, they started following me, and after that, other people started following me, and then next thing I know, we're just going back and forth. And now all the people you see jump into my Periscope are people whose scopes I've been in for the most part, as well. So that's that's another way to look at it, Dakota. But yeah, it only takes one person to start to dance at the prom. I love that, Vlad. That's awesome, man. You're just killing it with the one-liners, dude. You're phenomenal, my friend. I gotta follow you. So yeah, build a community, support each other, and you notice the people I support. Everybody who comes in my scope, who I know of, who I've kind of interacted with before. I always shout them out, and I also not only shout them out, I also share what they do. And a lot of times, some of the things that they do is the same thing as I do. Solutions Turk, hey Solutions Turk, I got your email. Don't worry, I didn't miss it. I'm going to respond. Solutions Turk is a speaker, author, boss trainer, profit professor. Love that. Results expert, dropping bombs. Tag Tribe Solutions. Check him out as well. Thank you for being in my scope, Solutions Turk. Thank you so much, Dakota. I appreciate that. That's awesome. But yeah, that's the thing. I mean, look, I believe in abundance. Put it that way. I believe in abundance. I believe that there's plenty of people, and there's 7 billion people on this planet. My goal is to get 7 billion people to know me, right? And in the meantime, by doing that, I can help bring other people with me, and just like other people have brought me along. And so with that being said, things happen. Good things happen a lot of the times. Thank you so much, Jay Frederick. I spent a lot of time, as you can tell. You saw my video on Instagram? Yeah, it was. I was sliding away. That's why I wanted to share the video. So I had a couple videos on Instagram of me watching people slide through intersections and stuff. It was crazy. But I spent a lot of my time reading. So the books you're seeing here are only the ones I'm showing the face of. I have rows of books behind it. I have rows of books on the floor of amazing books that I haven't even gotten into yet. The book that I'm reading right now, I'll share with you. Besides my book, which is awesome, this is the book that I'm reading right now. It's The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco. You cried on your first scope? Sorry, Wendy. I'm glad. Readers are leaders, exactly, G. Book suggestions, Vlad, Millionaire Fastlane. It's well written. It's written very similar to how I would write, a little bit in terms of how I would write. But it's a book I'm in right now, and I've been behind because I'm in the middle of a couple projects. But it's a book that I wanna. Yeah, I can't do a book a day. I do about a book a week. So that's awesome if you're a book a day. That's like Ty Lopez, but I can't. Knowledge. So I do a book a week, and that's about it. I have a lot of books that I'm trying to read. Let me show you another book. I want to show you the power of thinking in the future. Yeah, Audible's another great way. So another great way to absorb content, if you have the book, is to listen to Audible and I'll read it simultaneously. It's amazing. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you a quick little story. So when I wrote my book, I get emails every week from people saying they read my book and it changed their lives. And the first time I got this, there's two things. I cried when I first saw my book at Barnes & Noble's in New York City. I cried a little bit. And then the second thing is when I get emails every week from somebody saying, hey, this book changed my life. I was able to do this, I was able to do that, and they give me some results that they were able to achieve by reading my book, and it's really emotional. The other time I got teary-eyed and emotional is when I still haven't taken it out of the packaging. This is my book. Copy my book. Start Me Up. You can see it right here. That's not English. That's Indonesian. It's been published in Indonesia. It's a bestseller in Indonesia. I've never been to Indonesia. Ever. Never been to Indonesia. I don't know anybody in Indonesia. Published in Indonesia. Bestseller in Indonesia. I have no idea why. But it's phenomenal. Publisher saw it, picked it up. But again, 4 years ago, I wrote it. I wrote this in, about a year and a half ago. I wrote this 2 years ago. And I never thought, one, that it would sell as well as it did, and two, that it would end up in Indonesia. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Rick. And so my point is this. Imagine having a vision, having a goal, having an idea, a dream that's outside, but it's kind of within reach, but it's a little bit further out than that requires you to stretch. I never thought this was possible. I never even thought this. I never thought Indonesia. I never thought anything. I never thought international, but it's internationally published. And so, imagine what dream you're sitting on right now. That if you thought a little bit further out ahead, that your life could change. What would your life be like? If whatever dream you had, whatever client you wanted to work with, whatever goal you saw, right, was bigger than where you currently are right now. And that you got a little taste of it and you went past what you thought you were going to be. How amazing would you look back and say, with perspective, and say, hey, you know what? All that grind and struggle was worth it. So everything that I've done in the past is for who I am today. And so that's kind of what I want to remind you guys about. You guys have any more questions before we wrap it up? There you go. That's awesome, Danielle. Why is it not possible? Why is it not possible? I've had friends who said things like that. I told you the story about the guy on the plane. 18-year-old kid. He literally was telling me that there's no way in hell that I'm ever going to afford $50,000 to go to flight school. I said, let's break it. This is what I said to him. I go, it's 50 grand. Let's break it down. I know I don't have a book list online, Vlad. I need to do that. I need to put one up on my site. Thanks so much for asking that, Vlad, because I have a lot of books I've read. And so this guy, he was like, how do I break down 50 grand? I go, how about this? 50 grand is about $48,000, right? Is about 4,000, literally about 4,000 a month. 4,000 a month is about $1,000 a week. Can you come up with $1,000 a week? Can you earn $250 or $200 a day or whatever? That's not true at all. Yeah, it's about a little less than $1,000 a month, right? If you can do that, yeah, I know it is loaded, man. I got a lot of stuff, even behind. I got books behind, like tons of books behind there. Branding, just different, amazing books. The Power of No. It's another great book by James Altucher. I had a chance to meet him. Really, really nice guy. Power of No, amazing guy. I have some books from guys that I need to give away. So I'm also gonna create a book list, and then from the book list, I'm gonna start giving away some of my books that I have. So, yes, if you break down what you want, you can get what you want. It's an amazing. I go, yeah, one book a week. I read one book a week. Vlad does a book a day. He's killing it. He's like Ty Lopez. Another great book, Do the Work, by Stephen Pressfield. It's like a picture type book, but it's to remind you about your faith and your passion and how resistance is the enemy. It's not the idea or opportunities. Resistance. Resistance is procrastination, friends, TV, media, whatever it is. You have to fight your resistance. Whatever you want to do that's keeping you from doing it, you want to fight it. Catch Pen, thank you for sharing this. Another great book by Jeff Goins called The Art of Work. I'm going to give away a free copy of this at some point. I haven't yet. It's signed by Jeff Goins. It's called The Art of Work. I had a few copies of these actually. And I got a bunch of books. Like every time I meet an author, I try to meet an author and I get a bunch of books signed, and so I can give them out. Why? Because again, this is part of things that I think that are important. Again, guys, if you want to email me, there it is, info@ebongeka.com. If you want to get a copy of my one-page business plan, one-page startup plan, there it is, bit.ly. It's capital. What's it called? It's capital sensitive. I'd love to get a copy of my book. Yes, definitely. You can go to startmeupbook.com, Vlad. Startmeupbook.com. If you get it from there, I will sign a copy and send it to you. You can get it from Amazon. You can get it from Barnes and Nobles. Like obviously, I want people to buy books for me. But if you'd rather go to Amazon or whatever else, that's I'm not. You can go to startmeupbook.com, or you can go to Amazon or Barnes and Nobles. It's there as well. And if you get it from me, I sign it and I'll send it to you. But again, one more thing, that's where my one-page startup plan, and that is my email address. And then this weekend, I'm going to do a bunch of scopes about media attention and everything else. I have a huge webinar I'm launching next week to release a recent course that I'm doing. So, guys, I want to thank you guys for being on here. I want to thank you for taking the time. 28 people are still here. I've been talking for almost an hour. Yeah, if you go through me, Vlad, I really appreciate that. Thanks so much, man. Snow weekends is a great time, the opportunity to work. If you're on the East Coast, you have Lo and I were supposed to go to Miami to go see her parents, and there's another situation. Our flight got canceled. Our flight was supposed to be today at 4. Got canceled. We tried to get on a flight this morning. Thank you so much, Dakota. Email me if you have any questions. Marcel, you were awesome. We were supposed to try and get on a flight this morning. That we got bumped. That flight was sold out, so we can't get on that. Reagan National looks crazy. It looks like literally Exodus. You know, like Moses and Exodus leaving Egypt. That's how many people are stuck, are literally in the airport. It's like a concert, right? It's crazy. So people all over the place. So as a result of all that, people are all over the place. So I kid you not, I saw pictures. Looks like Exodus. People like let my people go. Everybody just like going through the airport. It's crazy. People trying to run. Moses leading them. And you guys have an amazing, blessed day. But I want to say this much. So we had a little setback, and we weren't able to go and leave the area like we wanted to. But now we have an opportunity to work. I'm gonna put my head down. I'm gonna crank out some great stuff, and hopefully I'll do some more Q&A this weekend so I can answer questions that you guys may have, anything that you want to talk about, anything that we can do together, anything I can do to help. That's what's really important to me. So anything I can do to help, let me know, and we'll try and make sure I try to do that. Okay. I will talk to you guys soon. You have an amazing day. One more thing. Again, if you want to email me, info@ebongeka.com. If you want to get my one-page business plan, there it is right there. It's a bit.ly link. You can screenshot that. We're going to buy our own plane. Eka Airlines, Team Eka, hashtag. Have an awesome day, guys. Yes, catch up with you soon, Vlad. Thanks so much.